Hello guys, so we are gonna finish the pages for Halloween. So I had added like this illustration here in a transparency and glued down this tag, and then I have transferred an image from FreePic that I will put the link just below, and I have transferred the image as I said, and then I am just cutting the focal point because we are gonna create like a postcard with an envelope to go inside this pocket. And I had already painted the page with black paint and just cut down the focal point. So now I have this graph paper and I wanted to do like a pattern. So the idea here is that you use the stamps that you have and you don't need to buy specifically some stamps for Halloween. So for example, I have this stamp from Rubber Stamp of Susan Rose. Rubber Dance Stamp, I think it's called, yeah. And I wanted just to create a pattern together with another stamp of a bird that I had for many years. And so I started stamping with like a brown orange color, and it was not so visible. So I decided to stamp on top of it with like a dark red. But then I realized that the fact that I had this brownish behind the red creates like dimension, so I really like it very much. So now what I am doing is just creating the pattern on the page, which as you can see I didn't measure anything. I am just stamping per horizontal lines and first with this brownish, and then I will stamp again on top of it, and it doesn't matter if it's not exactly the same spot as the first time with the dark red. So at this point I didn't know if the pattern is going to be horizontal or vertical, but it works both directions. And okay, so now I stamped the first layer, and now as I have some like spaces in between the clusters, I just took a jelly ball pen and make some random dots, small dots on the page, just to fill in the spaces, let's say. And now I am using an acrylic marker to stamp the birds, but you can use the regular stamp ink or even acrylic paint. And as you can see, I did it backwards, so I just flip the page and start stamping. At this point, I didn't know if I wanted 2 or 3 birds per cluster, so I started with 2. But in the end I will add another one, but at this point I didn't know, so it's better to add because otherwise you cannot take it away. So we start with 2, and I really like the acrylic marker because it creates like a drawing effect on it. And as you can see now, the third bird, first I stamp on a secondary page, and then I stamp on the background itself, which creates like a lighter black, and that creates dimension, in fact. So I really like it very much, this effect, and I am repeating it around the page. And voila, we have our background for the envelope. And here I was measuring the dimensions of that has to have the envelope. And now the funny thing is that I have this platform that I bought in Action, which is a chain of magazines that shops that is very cheap. But the funny thing is that I used this platform a lot of times for bigger sizes and I didn't have any issue. But at the moment I was creating my envelope, which should have 7 inches, it didn't work. As you can see, I was trying several times because if you put for 7 inches the size of the envelope, it marks like 3 1/4, I think, or 3. The third, so in the platform you have the first column, the size of the paper that it's gonna be for the postcard. Then you have the second column at the size that you have to cut the paper for the envelope. And then the third column is the inches and where you have to put the paper to do the lines to folder afterwards the envelope. So it didn't work. If I put 7 inches for the paper of the envelope, the 3 inches it's marked, it doesn't work. Don't tell me why. And I don't understand it. Maybe you can explain to me on the comments if I am wrong, but I had to do it like 7 inches, the size that I cut the envelope, and then use the 3.5 inches on the platform, okay? But you can see it in a minute. And then I decided to glue down another paper that I have, in which I have done some mark making, because as I said before in another videos, when I am listening a podcast or watching TV, sometimes I just do some mark making with pencils in different types of paper, and then I have it when I need it for collage, which is very handy. So as you can see, I'm not cutting perfect. I'm not taking so much exact measures. And so here, no, I am telling you that is not working. But I found the solution to put it on the 3.5. So you put the paper on the 3.5, and then you go to the line that is indicated up, and then you do the line. And the fact that the lines are crossing and creating like a little triangle is the indication that you are doing it correctly, because if you use the other mark of 3, it doesn't cross, so you don't have a correct envelope. So the platform comes with this punch for making the knots, and it works very nice, as you can see now, using the 3.5, as I said. And I was a little nervous because, it took me a while to do the background. It's not a problem if I have to repeat it, but okay, I was a little nervous. But in the end, it worked, as you can see. So now we just need to, and I was super happy, as you can see. So now you decide the direction of the pattern, and we just glue down the sides. And I think it is gorgeous, this mark making, hand mark making. Creates like a very nice effect, and I like it a lot. And I will put some books because this glue is like stronger, but it's a little slow. But okay, we put it aside and we continue working on the focal point. So I just glue it down on other paper on the back of the focal point, and so I had to cut it again. Probably you can first glue everything together and then transfer the image, so you don't have to cut it twice. But here I am just to avoid you to make mistakes, which is not so a big mistake to cut it twice, but still it will save you some time. And then, as I am a little perfectionist, I am just passing the acrylic marker on the borders, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And here the thing is that I want to draw the lines inside the drawing, and I didn't reverse the image. So in fact, it's gonna be reversed, but it doesn't matter. You take the picture and then you reverse it, and that's it. And in here you can also transfer the lines if you want to be super perfect and super realistic about the original image, but it's not my case. I am just drawing. The image is like an inspiration, and then I am doing my own lines, let's say. But For example, here I added some lines because for me it was not so clear without that lines. And I really enjoy to draw, so I really enjoy it. And I think this design is just beautiful. I really love for Halloween this mix of the raven and then the heart. And these organic lines going on the heart. I think it's gorgeous. In fact, I use a lot of the designs of Free Peak because I found, well, I try to choose the ones that are easy to draw because I really like to draw myself the details, because it gives like another quality on the drawing, right? When you do it yourself. And I really like the designs. And all of those are for free, because on Free Pick you have some designs that you have to pay for use them, and some designs that are free, but you have to mention that comes from Free Pick. So this is always mandatory, but they are for free, so you can really use it. Okay, and I wanted to draw the pupil, the part on the eye, but it wasn't dry enough, so I will just wait a little. And in the meantime, I am putting the sentiment on the back. And I started with the orange, but maybe because the stamp is very small, the letter was not readable, let's say. So I was thinking how to do with that. And then I remember this red that we used before, but still it was not so clear, some letters. Some letters yes, but some other letters not very clear. So in the end I just passed by with a black marker, and then it was perfect. And I think it creates a really nice effect, the fact that you have the orange and the red on the background. And now I am finishing with the eye. This is an Stabilo pencil because it has like a super dark black, and I like it a lot. And okay, we finished with our focal points. So now what we have to do is finish. Well, here I am finishing the envelope with a distress ink to give like a grunge effect, like old vintage envelope. And the funny thing is that the marmaking, I think it was done with watercolor pencil, and when you pass the distressing, it is smear a little, but I like the effect. It even give it a nice effect. So here I was thinking to do the base for the focal point. So without measuring anything, more or less taking a little the measure on the envelope, but not too much. You know, this is not a scrapbooking, this is mixed media, so not perfect at all. And then I am using, but in the end, another paper on the back. This is just a regular paper, which I did some dots. But I think it's really cool as a background for our sentiment that it's gonna be on top of it. And I needed something lighter. So I think this paper was exactly what I was thinking. As you can see, no measuring, and even the paper is a little bigger, which I like. And here I printed out the sentiment using a font in Word that it's recreating an old typewriter. And I had some videos before this one where I explained to you how to do this, because I think it's so cool that you can have this type of font on the texts. And okay, now I'm just giving some lines on the edges because it creates like a nice frame. I'm passing a little the pencil to give like an old effect on the car. And voila, we have our base. I added like this paper just to, which it was a little glued down with, but it's fine, and it creates like a base for the focal point. It's not glued down on the bottom, you could, but I like these elements like a little that you have movement right on it. So I just added some leaves, and I used an stencil of Susan Rose also, and I love these designs. They are like imperfect, like perfect for mixed media, imperfectly perfect or something like this. Yeah, I really love them. And I am not gluing down 100% of all the leaves. I like the movement, as I said. So, and even the dimension was perfect for the car. So, yeah, amazing. I really enjoy to give like a floral touch on the designs. I think it goes very well with this type of abstract things. And here we go. We have our base for our focal point. And now I like it, and I think it's done. It's finished. And here is the finished project. So here you can see that we have our base for the focal point, and our message, and then the envelope. So here it's finished, all the projects for Halloween. This is the one we did last week, and I hope you like it. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, please, and see you next time. Bye.